Well, last week, Rick Mercer signed off for the last time. My favorite part of that show was always Rick's rant. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to try and give you guys a rant every once in a while. I can only promise you two things. One, I'm not going to give you a rant every week. And two, it'll never be as good as Rick's. The first one is going to be on high-speed rail. In this year's provincial budget, the province announced $11 billion to implement high-speed rail. Week before last, I was in London to watch the Premier re-announce $11 billion to start high-speed rail. I say start because there's no way $11 billion is going to get a high-speed rail train on the tracks between London and Kitchener-Waterloo by 2025. Now, I think that in Zorra, in Oxford, we know that a high-speed rail plan like that is ridiculous. Essentially, we're going to be paying $11 billion to get men in suits with briefcases to Kitchener-Waterloo and London 10 minutes, half an hour faster. It doesn't make sense. But let's look at all the agricultural land that's going to be lost. Hundreds of acres of prime agricultural land out of production. If the economic development aspects of high-speed rail work, these people are all going to need to be fed when they're in all these new jobs. Never mind the loss of connectivity for our rural communities, the delayed emergency response times, longer bus rides, disconnected from your recreation centers, disconnected families, businesses, agricultural businesses, severed by high-speed rail lines that may no longer be viable. And let's not even talk about agricultural land swaps. But let's set all that aside for a minute. Let's set all that aside and just look at the supposed advantages of high-speed rail, which is economic development, which is a great idea. But right now, in southwestern Ontario, the City of London has a relatively high unemployment rate. The counties of Perth and Oxford have relatively low unemployment rates. There are Toyota parts manufacturers in Stratford that are advertising in Woodstock, will someone please just come for an interview at their plant? They can't get people to even come for interviews. I was invited to Sonova, right here in Little Zorra, last week. Sonova is trying to grow their business. They're trying to export their product, but they can't get people to come and work. They can't find people. They're willing to offer training for technicians to work on agricultural implements. They're looking for engineers to do R&D and export and manufacture right here in Zorra. Now, I know a lot of people in London think that agricultural jobs is milking cows and shoveling manure, and there's nothing wrong with that, because despite dairy intolerance and wheat gluten intolerance, agricultural businesses are long-term secure jobs. But now we know that a lot of them are technical, they're engineering, and there's a future in those jobs. So what's our solution from the province for economic development for this? We're going to take a single mom in London, raising two kids, trying to pay a mortgage with a high school diploma, and our solution is to put her on a high-speed rail train for over $100 a ticket. Send her right past all these jobs in Perth and Oxford, and what's she going to do? She's going to get off the train in Waterloo, and she's going to rock up to RIM with her high school diploma, and she's going to look for a job coding at RIM, or she's going to wait and she's going to get off the train at Bay Street in Toronto and go into one of the banks and get a job? This is ridiculous. There's jobs that we can get for people right now in our region for a lot less money and a lot sooner than the current high-speed rail proposal. Better rail service for London and southwestern Ontario? Excellent idea. The current high-speed rail proposal? Ridiculous idea. If you want to know more about this, there's 3 public meetings this week. Tonight, Tuesday night, in Tavistock. Wednesday night in New Hamburg, and Thursday night in Purple Hill. On Thursday night in Purple Hill, I'll be on the panel representing the political aspects of this issue. Why don't you come out and ask the panel, why HSR?